Hi, I'm Brenda Boyd, QM's Senior Academic Director for Program Services. I'm excited to tell you about a new event that QM is offering this year for higher education practitioners. It's a great opportunity to learn from your peers, get hands-on actionable tips, and connect with best practices in online teaching and course design. The Quality in Action Conference is composed of a workshop day on April 8th and a day of curated presentations on April 9th. There will also be opportunities to connect with QM staff and network with colleagues. We know how hard you work each day to provide your students with exceptional online learning experiences. Wouldn't it be great to add a few more tools to your toolbox? Ones that you can implement immediately to help you expedite the design process without sacrificing quality? The Quality in Action Conference can help you take your design and teaching skills to the next level. Registration for Quality in Action starts at $125. Additional fees apply for workshops. You can find details and the registration link at qualitymatters.org/events. All sessions will be recorded and shared with everyone who registers. Register today and be sure to tell your colleagues.